We've seen quite a few stumbles with God of War recently. Sons of Sparta was not received very positively. People are excited for the trilogy remakes, but it's going to be years before we see those. And the first images that we actually got of the Amazon series were not received so positively. But now we're getting information that Faye, Kratos' wife, is going to be the lead character in the next game, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions on this. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, in a perfect world, this would not be a cause for concern. In a perfect world, we would go, they've created quite a few good games. We'll see what's going to happen. But when we are talking about the company that race swaps Norse gods and the company that very clearly has replaced male characters in the past in order to make way for strong, independent women, yeah, this definitely is a massive red flag. Now, this is going to be a spin off game. When you haven't even announced what the next full game is going to be, what the next mainline game is going to be, and you're announcing that Faye is going to be the lead character, this isn't what people have asked for. This isn't what people have really wanted. I've never seen people go, I would love a game as Faye with the main character. I mean, maybe if this was like a farming sim, I could definitely see it, but apparently it's going to be almost like DMC combat. It's going to be very different combat, which is just very strange, in my opinion. So, Faye is now rumored to be the lead character of the next Sony Santa Monica game. It is a new franchise set in the God of War universe, so we don't exactly know where this would take place in the timeline, how far back it would be, but we also don't know if Kratos will be a part of it. One would assume he would be to a certain extent. Again, you don't really know. It is going to have very different gameplay with a bigger action focus, and the reveal will be this year with a 2027 release date. And Faye, of course, is Kratos' wife from the Norse saga, so I definitely have a lot of questions about this. I do want to see it. Obviously, I'm always willing to give a good look at a game and give a good look at a product and give it a fair chance, but at the same time, we are talking about Sony here, and we specifically are talking about Sony Santa Monica. Sony Santa Monica is filled with a lot of activists, and Sony in general is as well. We know that there is a push for more female characters and more really diverse hires within the gaming industry, and a set of diverse characters, even if it really doesn't make sense to the setting. And with God of War, again, everybody thinks of Kratos. We don't think of Faye. She's a fine side character, but she probably should stay that way, though there's a lot of opinions. There are some people saying, oh my gosh, you're all chuds and losers for not basically instantly shilling for this game and not instantly saying this is like a 10 out of 10 idea. And then there are gamers who are saying, yeah, serious question, who asked for this? Aw shit, here we go again. This image is so funny to me. God of Laundry, Faye's journey. It's her doing the laundry. It's so good. God of War's wife. Why is it called God of War if we're not playing as the God of War? Oh, because money. Because they need you to interact with this, and they need you to have your brand loyalty open your wallet. You know Kratos, you like Kratos, you know God of War, you like God of War, so you should also like God of War's wife. And that's why they want you to show up and buy this game. It's like how Disney does the live action adaptations, like Snow White, for example, and it's not Snow White in any way, shape, or form, but they're still going to call it that because of money. All Sony games being third person with female leads is so funny. Yeah, they're just like a one trick pony at this point. Give me more God of War. Don't care who I play as. All these games with your favorite male protagonists are part of the same plan. Yeah, remove Joel, replace with a girl boss. Remove Geralt, replace with a girl boss. Remove Jin Sakai, replace him with a girl boss. Now it's time for Kratos. That is the plan. We know there are a lot of feminists in this industry and they want strong, independent women to be the leads of games. There are a lot of people who feel like we need to make up for this problem in the industry, even though it's not a problem. There have always been strong women. And I think that you could probably write a way better woman than Faye for a lead of a new game, but they're not going to do that because they need God of War to be able to sell a title like this. The most male character these days on PlayStation is Astrobot, and I really don't know what Sony is doing right now. Why is it that they are so against listening to their customers? They could be making so much more money. If they didn't kill off Joel, they could have made a Last of Us 3 and made a boatload of cash. Instead, we have Naughty Dog making things like Intergalactic, and you're probably never going to see a continuation of The Last of Us. You had a strong, competent male character in Jin Sakai, and then they throw him away in order to replace him with Atsu. Kratos is getting replaced, at least in this spin-off, by his wife, and it really is infuriating because I know they're just trying to push an agenda. I know they don't really give a fuck about fan feedback, but they should, because they could be making so much more money and gamers would be so much happier that they would basically be able to sell anything to us. But we're not at that point anymore and nobody trusts them. A lot of people are not excited for this, and well, consumer confidence in them is at an all-time low. And like I said, I'm willing to give any sort of game a chance. Maybe this will actually be revealed and it'll look cool and we'll all be interested. I just do not trust these companies anymore. They do not get my blind loyalty anymore. I always am going to be cautiously optimistic first and foremost, and then go from there. I expect nothing good from these companies, and so maybe they can pleasantly surprise me. I just highly doubt it. In other videos, I've also already talked about Sons of Sparta a few times, but this hasn't gone over particularly well with fans either. It is sitting at a 65 critic and a 6.0 user score. So this is the direction they've taken God of War in. They claim that this was a small passion project, but they felt confident enough to try to charge you $30 for it, and to top that off, there's things like co-op locked behind completing the game once, which really is a slap in the face to fans. And so it seems right now that they're putting all their money into whatever the next game is going to be. If this Faye game is going to actually happen, it is a rumor, take it with a grain of salt. It's coming from quite a few different leakers, though, that have notable track records, so I do tend to believe it. But when you see them releasing titles like God of War, Sons of Sparta, and they think that this is a good idea and this is what fans want, it just goes to show how out of touch Sony really is with their customer base. This was made by Mega Cat and Sony Santa Monica, but at the same time, it is going to reflect on the God of War brand, and yeah, things are just not looking super positive right now. I am curious to see this game. I am curious to see what is going to happen, when it is going to be set, what they are adding to this experience, but yeah, when I am going to play a God of War game, I actually want to play God of War, not God of Wife. So I will be covering this more in the future, I'm sure. There are some people who are already saying, oh my god, we need to support this, it's going to be great, it's going to be amazing, it's not woke at all. And then there are gamers who are saying, yeah, nobody asked for this, and you guys are just wasting time and money in order to push an agenda. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.